Hello everyone, welcome back to another story time. As you can see the title, I'm gonna talk about the worst thing, in my opinion, that I done to someone else, right? But just to clarify, like it's not that big of a deal. It's not illegal or it's not anything like that. But I feel bad to this day. It's been what, like 2 years, and I still feel bad about it. So yeah, no, I thought it would be like a fun little story to talk about. So yeah, let's get started. So in 2020, when the pandemic started, I was going to school, right? But because of the pandemic, we had it shut down, so we had to leave. And I didn't have a car. I didn't have my family lived like 3 hours away, and they had to work every single day, like even weekends. So they weren't able to pick me up. So that meant that I had to stay in the school that I was staying at, and it was only me and like 50 other people who did it. Right, out of the whole school, it was only like 50 people total. And one of the conditions to be in the dorms for the school was that you were supposed to get a job, right, to prove that you were able to pay, basically. So the job that I had was me doing crafts, basically. I never done anything with my hands, so I didn't know how to do it, but I had to, like, because I couldn't find anywhere else to do it or anywhere else to work. I basically told them that my family owned like a wood shop or whatever. So I had experience like shaving wood and like doing stuff with my hands, but I didn't. So anyways, they hired me, and there was like 6 other people working with me, right? And it was fine. Like the first, what, 2 weeks, we were just working around. Like I would hide and not do work, and I felt bad because people had to make up because I wasn't pulling my weight. But after 2 weeks, I kind of knew how to do like the job that was required. So it was only the first 2 weeks where I was fucking everything up. But anyways, that's not important. Out of the 6 people, I started talking to one of them, right? And we were talking. We were like everything was going great, until I found out that a friend that also stayed in that school, he was also talking to that person. But the thing is, he didn't know that I was also talking to that person. So I hid it. I didn't tell him about it. So me and the person I was talking to, we talked about it, and they weren't actually talking. What was actually happening is that my friend back then, he was trying to like flirt or whatever, and like send messages and stuff like that. But like the other person wasn't interested, right? Because my friend or former friend, he was someone who tried to get with everyone. Like hooking up was like his priority or whatever. But he didn't have any luck with anyone. So what ended up happening was that me and the person that I was talking to, we didn't tell my friend that both of us were talking, right? So during our lunch breaks, like me and my friend will sit together, we will talk, and after a while, he would tell me that he was happy and that he was in love and whatever with that person, and I felt bad like telling him anything. So I was just listening to him. So he will tell me that, and then I will ask him like, "What happened? Like, why do you feel that way? Why do you feel close to that person?" And he will say something like, "I didn't get left on red like before," something like that, like just crumbs basically, and he will take it. He will be happy about them, and that made me feel even more self-conscious about telling him anything because I didn't want to break his heart. So at first I would try to talk to my friend about it, right? I would be like, "Hey, have you thought about going for other people or like trying to flirt with anyone else?" But he wouldn't stop. So after a while, I kind of just gave up. So I was like, "Hey, good luck. I hope it works out for you," stuff like that. So a month goes by, right? And at that point, like me and the person I was talking to, we stopped feeling bad because we like he was pushy, like my friend or my ex-friend, he was pushy about it because the person would tell him like, I'm not interested or anything like that, but my friend would be like, "Hey, can we still be friends? Can we still talk? Can we still keep in contact?" Stuff like that. So at that point, I don't know how it started, but I will also read the conversation between them, like the person showed me. And before I keep going, I just want to say I'm not that person anymore. I was young back then, and I apologize to my friend, like later, So we're not friends anymore, but like we're cool. Like that, he don't hate me. He doesn't hate me. So yeah, before I keep going. But anyways, I saw the text between them, and it was pretty one-sided. Like my friend back then, he was saying like paragraphs, while the person I was talking to, they was saying like one-word responses. One day, my friend back then, he, I don't know where, he sent a poem to that person, and it was like it was like an actual poem. Like it was long, it was big, it was so, and it was cute. Like the thing is, I thought it was cute, and he even told me about it. He was like, "Hey, I wrote this poem. I had a friend help me with it," and he was so happy about it. He was so I don't know. He's like a romantic person, right? But the person I was talking to, they didn't think it was cute because it was coming from someone that they weren't interested in. So that night we met, and then while we were hanging out, they showed me the poem, And I felt bad because the thing is, it was a cute poem. Like if it was to me, I would be, I would be in love. But the other person didn't think so, so they were making fun of it. I also started making fun of it, and what ended up happening was that we stopped hanging out, and I was on my way to my room. But while we were walking out, like me and the person, my friend also lived in that dorm, so he was getting out of the restroom or something like that. I don't know, like, but he saw us, right? He saw the two of us hanging out, and he knew that we weren't just friends because we were holding hands while we were walking. And he looked at us, and then he didn't look at me at all. He didn't pay attention to me. He looked at the other person, and he was like, "Hey, what are you two doing?" and stuff like that. Like, he was making conversation. Um, and yeah, we were like, no, we're just hanging out, blah blah, whatever. And then we walked away, and ever since then, like, me and the person that I was friends with, we didn't talk anymore. We didn't talk until last semester, or like 2022, when we had a class together and we had to talk. And at that point, they didn't hate me anymore because it was like 2 years, that already happened. So while we were in class, we didn't become friends like right away, right? We kind of became like acquaintances, because the thing is, the class that we were in, it was psychology. And I'm good at it. I feel like that type of content is pretty easy for me to understand and like to remember. So my way to make up for what I did was that I would offer to give him my answers, even if he didn't ask for it, or I wouldn't ask anything in return. I would just be like, hey, I already did homework, do you want to see the answers? And no one's gonna say no to that. So we didn't start talking because of that. But I did notice that he wasn't avoiding me, because it's easy to see when someone is like walking away from you, or like walking in a opposite direction from you. And the thing that made us like be friends again or start talking again was that it was raining one day, and I didn't have an umbrella because I didn't know it was gonna rain. So I was just standing by the door waiting for the rain to like go away, and I stood there for like 20 minutes just waiting for it to go away, or waiting for someone to like come and help me out with him. And what happened was that he came from behind and he looked at me, and he could have kept going, but like he didn't. He offered me, he was like, hey, where are you going? I told him where I was going, and we were walking the same direction. So he offered me the umbrella. Like, both of us were under the same umbrella, and it was like a 5 minute walk. And I didn't know how to start like a conversation. I just said thank you, and then I was quiet. But then, like halfway there, he started talking. He was like, "Hey, how you been? Are you doing good? Whatever." And I was answering, and then I started making conversation too, because he was making conversation, and I didn't want to be the one just ending it. So then, when we were about to like go different ways, we touched on the subject again. And I told him that I was sorry. I told him that I didn't know why I didn't, because thinking back at it, I feel like I was doing it because I was trying to show like I was like a better man or whatever. And or I don't know, I feel like that's the only possible reason as to why I was in that position, or like doing it for so long. So yeah, back then I didn't used to be a good friend. Right now I feel like I'm okay. I struggle with like keeping up in touch with people, but besides that, I wouldn't talk behind someone's back or do anything like that ever again. But anyways, at that point, my friend was dating someone for like, I don't know, like a year, or it was like a long ass relationship. So he told me that he forgave me, and that he wasn't mad, or he wasn't holding any grudges anymore. Because the thing is, me and the person I was talking to, we stopped talking like 5 months afterwards, right? And my friend, he went back to it. Like, he went, and started talking to them again. Which I don't know why. I don't know why they did it, but it only lasted for a month, because me and my friend, we were sophomores, and the person we were talking to, they were a junior, right? So they graduated before us, and it wasn't long. But yeah, that's it for the story. I don't know. I don't want to say I hope you liked it, because you shouldn't like it. I used to be someone who made fun of people a lot. I don't do it anymore. Right now, I make content where I roast people, but I don't go for personal attacks or whatever. So I don't know. I want to say that I changed, but I guess you never know until you're in that position again. Because telling something to someone that will break their heart, I will feel bad doing that, but I don't think that I will like, go behind their back to make fun of them again. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? Like, do you think that you will do it? Because for me, like we told him, like they should move on to someone else. But I don't know. What do you think? Like, what's your opinion on it? Do you believe in bros before hoes? Because I don't. I'm always gonna put hoes before my bros. So I don't know. Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Because maybe I'm in the